Let's flip it over to Sunday and have some fun. Good one right off the bat. Buffalo we go. Seattle and Buffalo, Russell Wilson and Josh Allen. Rotation 451, 452. 7 out of every 10 tickets here coming in on Seattle, which early in the week I would have said, which way can I take the Buffalo Bills in this game? The more I watch the Buffalo Bills, it's just not clicking on offense. Now you're getting a little bit healthier for the Seahawks on defense. Carlos Dunlap will play defensive end, immediately makes him the best defensive lineman on the team that they have. And also looking at Jamal Adams coming back in the secondary, the quarterback of that defense. And the 2.5s are gone. They're now 3s directly across the board, and I do agree with that line movement. The one team that has 0 issues coming West Coast to East Coast and playing at 1 o'clock is the Seattle Seahawks. It does not matter. So if I'm going to sit back and look at this game, and again, do the same simple concept that we have, let me get this straight. Russ basically just has to win the game to cover. Where do I sign up? I still like the Seattle Seahawks. I don't care if it's a square play, 7 out of 10 tickets, all the money coming in on Seattle, line not really moving. Seattle's the better ball club in this game. I'm tired of waiting on the Buffalo Bills to perform. They've underperformed all year, and until they overperform, Kyle, I'm sticking with what I know, and that's winning with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, it's Russell Wilson, 3 and under, and you mentioned it. A lot of people, oh, that's the square player, oh, that's the chalk play. Well, I would rather play the chalk play and win some money than try to get too cute and lose some money. And the bottom line, I think there's points scored in this game. The weather looks nice in Buffalo this week. Mid-60s it looks like, no wind. You've got 2 beatable secondaries. One thing I will caution about Tre'Davious White, we've sort of picked on that Buffalo defense and said, hey, they're just not the same. And Matt Milano not practicing again today. He's been on the injury report all season long. But Tre'Davious White has actually done an outstanding job as a shadow corner. He's giving up somewhere around 0.16 fantasy points per route ran against. He's being targeted on less than 11% of his defensive routes. So you're going to see a lot of Tyler Lockett again. Carlos Hyde already ruled out. Chris Carson not practicing. Travis Homer not practicing. We saw DJ Dallas acquit himself pretty well against a good run-stopping defense in the 49ers last week. They're going to let Russ cook, and then when you look at Teron Johnson, Levi Wallace, et cetera, on the other side, Josh Norman limited in practice as well, I think there's a lot of points in this game. Obviously, that Seattle secondary gets a big boost if indeed Jamal Adams plays, but they're still beatable on the perimeter. I do think there's points scored. I think Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs is a nice combo this week. But are we really going to take Josh Allen over Russell Wilson in a game with the spread 3 points or less? Cannot do it. We've seen the sort of fourth quarter collapses and the mental mistakes Josh Allen makes in close games. Russell Wilson simply doesn't do that. I jumped on Seattle -2.5 the other day. I'm fine with it at -3. I feel great about it at -2.5. You got to take Seattle. And hey, if you're trying to get cute and get some value, I don't think this is the game to do it.
It's a good matchup because typically myself, I would love to be on the home dog Buffalo Bills in this game. And even last year when you weren't even getting a good offensive output from the Buffalo Bills, but what could you always lean back on? Buffalo Bills defense is really going to come to play and harass Russell Wilson. They haven't shown that this year. And you're right. Tre'Davious White was banged up for most of the year. He's starting to climb in the, we like to look Pro Football Focus, whatever metric use the standings. He's climbing up. They have 2 good cornerbacks and certainly a good safety as well. But the fact is you need elite linebacker play to keep track of Russell Wilson, and you're not getting that whatsoever from the Buffalo Bills, and that's going to play into this game. Now, we do think there's going to be points in this game, and you brought up a great thing. We're heading into November, 65 degrees, this is go to the beach weather in Buffalo, and we're sitting here in November. But 55 is a really tall task. Should they be able to get there? Yes. But again, I expect so much more out of the Buffalo offense, and I'm just not getting it yet, Kyle.
Yeah, they started out hot, and they've really, really regressed. And if you're going to pick a secondary to get right, and we've sort of seen Buffalo, they do this sort of two-headed monster at running back with Moss and Singletary, but they throw the ball a lot, and they're in those RPO-type plays an awful lot with Josh Allen out of the shotgun or the pistol, whatever the hell you want to call it. So this should be a spot. John Brown looks like he's going to play. Diggs on the outside. They certainly Shaquille Griffin, by the way, limited or did not practice yesterday. Shaq Griffin and Quentin Dunbar allowing the 4th most fantasy points to perimeter wide receivers on the season. The most points overall to opposing quarterbacks. They've been absolutely beatable. Now, I know Jamal Adams has been out for a substantial amount of time here the last several weeks, but they are still beatable on the perimeter. So even though I expect Seattle to win, I expect Seattle to cover, I would be more surprised if it goes under than the over. I'm not putting any money on that total, especially once we get into November when I see these 55s, mid 50s, high 50s. I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to be trying to talk myself into the unders. Can't necessarily do that this week, so I'm going to leave that alone and just stick with the Seattle side. But I don't think you're crazy for thinking that this is a 38-31 type of game where they crush that over, because both these offenses are capable. Could be a get-right spot for Buffalo, but you're right. They have been underwhelming the past several weeks. So, it's put up or shut up time for Buffalo. They want to take over this division and be the dominant team in the AFC East. Let's get it done this week, especially when, Miami's in a great spot to lose as well against Arizona. It'd be a big win for Buffalo. Don't see it happening. I like Seattle.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be hard fought. And again, you're also talking about when you say like, hey, Seattle's coming east, you would usually get a raucous atmosphere in Buffalo, and it's just not there. Advantage road teams now, basically evening it out. There is no real home field advantage whatsoever. And even you saw some of the breakdowns where the road teams are actually outscoring the home teams throughout the season. So we'll see how that plays out. But it's going to be a really good one to watch. In past years, Kyle, I'd be all over the Bills in this situation, just not today.